Hello friends, myself Sandeep N. Palle, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, KBT College of Engineering, Nasik. Today's topic is simple stresses and strain. Before that, we'll see the subject solid mechanics means. The solid mechanics is defined as a branch of applied mechanics that deals with behavior of solid bodies subjected to various types of loading. The aim of this subject is predicting how geometric and physical properties of structure will influence its behavior under service condition. The structure for the subject, it has 4 credit points for theory part and 1 credit point for practical. Related to examination, in semester examination is of 30 marks and end semester examination of 70 marks. It also has 25 marks term work and 25 marks oral. Course objectives are to get the knowledge of stress strain, shear force and bending moment diagram, slope, deflection, bending stress and shear stress, then torsional shear stress and buckling of column, principal stresses and theories of failure, and lastly the application based problem. Those are based on the combined loading. The course outcomes are dependent on the 6 units. So there are 6 course outcomes. The first topic is simple stresses and strain. So course outcome is define various types of stresses and strain developed on determinate and indeterminate member. Second, shear force and bending moment. Draw shear force and bending moment diagram for various types of transverse loading and support. Third topic, slope and deflection, bending stress and shear stress. Course outcome is compute the slope and deflection, bending stresses and shear stresses on a beam. The fourth topic is torsional shear stress. Course outcome is calculate torsional shear stress in shaft and buckling of column. Fifth topic is principal stresses. The course outcome is apply the concept of principal stresses and theories of failure to determine combined stress developed on two-dimensional element. The last unit is based on application based problem related to study of the first 5 units, that is stress, shear force diagram, bending moment diagram, torsion shear stress, principal stresses, which is subjected to combined loading. Now we'll see the basics of stress and strain. Before that, we must know what do you mean by load. So load is defined as set of external forces acting on mechanism or engineering structure which arise from service condition in which the component work. Very common, there are 2 types of loads in engineering applications. Those are tensile and compressive. The first one is tension, that is a direct pull. So look at this, the 2 person, they are pulling out the rope. So the stretching of rope develops the tensile force in the rope. The second one is compression, that is direct push. Here the weight lifter lifts the weight so that the weight will have a compressive force on the body of the lifter, that is a direct push. The sign convention for the forces are the tensile forces are considered as positive and compressive negative. Now we'll see the types of loads. There are different types of loads The first one is dead load, or it is also known as a static load. It is developed because of non-fluctuating forces generally caused by the gravity. Second type of load is live load, or it is also known as a dynamic load. It is the load due to dynamic effect. For example, load exerted by a lorry on a bridge, that is a dynamic. Impact load or shock load. The load due to the sudden blows or the sudden impact is known as a impact load or shock load. The next comes fatigue, fluctuating or alternating loads. The loads which have a magnitude and sign of the forces changing with the time. So that type of load is known as fatigue load. Now, static load. The static load or forces are the loads that do not change in size, position or direction. So we can see the person is carrying a stock of books, but it is not moving. So the load applied is a static load. The dynamic load. Dynamic load or forces are loads that have changed in either size, position or direction. Again, the person is carrying the weight of books, but it is moving. So the load applied is a dynamic load. Now the next point is a stress. When a body is subjected to external forces, it gets deformed. The internal forces are developed within the body which oppose deformation. Now you can see the body is subjected to the axial force P. There is a section XX which split the body into two parts. Now if we consider the left part of the body subjected to force P, now to be in equilibrium of this part, there is some resistance offered by this material or body that is in opposite direction of the applied force, that is R. This resistance will be equal to the applied force P, so that it will keep the body in equilibrium. So this resistance is known as a stress. So the definition for it, the internal resistance force developed in a body per unit area is known as a stress. The unit for the stress is Newton per meter square, or it is also known as Pascals. The other unit for stress are 1 kilopascal is equal to 10 raised to 3 Pascal, 1 megapascal is equal to 10 raised to 6 Pascal, 1 gigapascal is equal to 10 raised to 9 Pascal, and 1 terapascal is equal to 10 raised to 12 Pascal. The next point is strain. When a body is subjected to some external force, there is some change of dimension of the body. Now we can see the cylinder here. Cylinder has the length L and diameter D. It is subjected to an axial force F. Now because of this force, there is a deformation in the dimension. So along the length, it is increasing by the amount delta L, and in the lateral dimension, that is perpendicular to this one, that is the diameter, it is decreasing. So after deformation, the final length of the cylinder is L plus delta L, and the diameter is D minus delta D. So the strain is defined as the ratio of change of dimension of the body to its original dimension. So strain is the ratio of the same parameter. So it is a unitless. Now there are two types of strain. It is along the length and perpendicular to the length dimension. So the longitudinal strain is defined as the ratio of change in length to the original length. So along the length, whatever the deformation is there or change in length upon the original length gives the longitudinal strain, or it is also known as linear strain. Second one is lateral strain. So it is perpendicular to the linear strain, that is a change in diameter to the original diameter. Now the strain may be also classified as tensile strain, compressive strain, shear strain and volumetric strain. The tensile strain, it is the ratio of increasing length to the original length of the body when it is subjected to the pull force or the tensile force. Similarly, compressive strain, here the force is compressive one, so there is a decrease in length. So it is a ratio of decrease in length to the original length of the body when it is subjected to a push force. Shear strain, the strain developed due to shear stress, that is, the force is applied tangentially to the body on the area, which will develop the shear strain. Volumetric strain, it is the ratio of change of volume of the body to the original volume. Any object when subjected to the force may be tensile or compressive, from all the direction the volume of the body changes. So the change in volume to the original volume is your volumetric strain. The stress-strain relationship for the two-dimension case, consider a body of length L, width B, height D. Let the body is subjected to an axial load. Due to this axial load, there is a deformation along the length of the body. This strain corresponding to this deformation is called longitudinal strain. Similarly, there are deformation along the direction perpendicular to the line of application of force. The strain corresponding to this deformation are called lateral strain. You can see this body having the length L, width B and depth D. It is subjected to axial force P. Because of that, there is an increase in length and at the same time there is a decrease in depth and width. The new dimensions are length is L plus delta L, depth is D minus delta D and width is B minus delta B. So the longitudinal strain delta L upon L and lateral strain delta B upon B or delta D upon D. Now the ratio of this lateral strain to the longitudinal strain is called Poisson's ratio and it is denoted by mu. So mathematically mu is equal to minus of lateral strain upon longitudinal strain. The minus sign indicates decrease. Now consider a object subjected to stress in x direction and y direction. X direction and y direction. Now there are two stresses. So the effect of both the stresses in any direction. So we'll consider the strain along x direction due to sigma x. So along this direction, the strain because of this stress is given by sigma x upon E. As we know, modulus of elasticity E is equal to sigma upon E, that is strain. So strain will be equal to stress upon modulus of elasticity E, sigma x upon E. Similarly, strain along the x direction due to sigma y. So along the same direction the strain, but it is because of this sigma y. So it is in the perpendicular direction, so that is at a lateral dimension. So strain in this direction will be mu times the sigma y upon E and it is a negative. So the total strain in x direction will be Ex is equal to sigma x upon E minus mu times sigma y upon E. This is the total strain in x direction. Similarly, the total strain in y direction is Ey is equal to sigma y upon E minus mu sigma x upon E. So in the above equation, these tensile stresses are considered as positive and compressive stresses as negative. So this is all about the stresses and strain. Thank you.